Why your cacao supply is inconsistent. Most suppliers don't control this. Inconsistent cacao supply isn't normal. If your batches keep changing, if your flavour shifts, if your production becomes unpredictable, that's not just part of the industry. It's a sign your supplier doesn't actually control the process. And most businesses don't realise this until it starts costing them. Global Cacao Traders Online are here supporting businesses and manufacturers in premium cacao powder supply globally. Over the past few days, we've been breaking down something most cacao buyers overlook. Not origin, not price, not even samples. What actually determines whether your cacao supply works or fails. Because the reality is, most businesses aren't struggling because of cacao quality. They're struggling because of how their supply is structured. See, the problem is, well, let's start with what most businesses experience. If you're sourcing cacao for chocolate manufacturing, beverages, food production, cafes or retail products, you've probably dealt with this. One batch works perfectly, the next batch behaves completely different. Flavour shifts slightly, texture changes, processing results vary, and over time this creates production instability, reformulation issues, increased costs, wasted product, inconsistent final output. And here's where most businesses go wrong. They simply assume this is just how cacao is. Or we just need a better supplier. So they switch suppliers and the problem continues. See, the real cause is the issue isn't just the supplier, it's what the supplier controls or doesn't control. Because cacao consistency is not decided at the point of sale. It's decided much, much earlier in the chain. It comes down to 3 core factors. Fermentation control. This is where everything starts. If fermentation is inconsistent, poorly managed, decentralized, then the cacao will vary every time, even from the same origin. Drying consistency after fermentation. If drying isn't controlled properly, moisture levels fluctuate, mold risk increases, quality becomes unstable. This directly affects processing performance. Processing into powder. This is where most suppliers lose control. If cacao isn't standardized during processing, handled with consistent methods, or converted into powder correctly, then what you receive is unpredictable raw material. And here's the key point. Most suppliers don't control all 3. No. They rely on fragmented sourcing, multiple small producers, inconsistent handling. That's where inconsistency comes from. And why this matters? If your supplier doesn't control these systems, the impact isn't small. It compounds across your entire business. What happens? Production becomes unstable. You can't rely on repeatable results. Costs increase. You waste time, product, and labour adjustments. Product quality drops. Your end product becomes inconsistent. Scaling becomes difficult. You can't grow if your supply isn't predictable. And this is where most businesses get stuck. They keep trying to fix the recipe, formulations, pricing, when the real issue is the supply system itself. What most businesses miss. This is the shift most businesses need to make. Stop thinking, where is this cacao from? And start asking, how is this cacao controlled? because origin doesn't guarantee consistency. Price doesn't guarantee performance. Samples don't guarantee long-term supply. Only structure does. This is what separates buying cacao from sourcing cacao. Buying is transactional. Sourcing is strategic. And the solution? You don't need to keep changing suppliers. You don't need to chase different origins. You need a structured sourcing system. A system that ensures controlled fermentation, consistent drying, standardized processing, batch-to-batch reliability, traceable supply. That's because when the system is controlled, the outcome becomes predictable. Only here at Global Cacao Traders Online, your sourcing and distributions platform, and especially education, we help businesses like yours. If your cacao supply isn't consistent, it's not just quality issues, it's a system issue. Don't, and I mean don't. You don't need better cacao. You need a better supply system. If you're sourcing from your business and want stable, consistent cacao powder, controlled supply, scalable sourcing, explore our bulk cacao supply. Submit a trade inquiry and start building a supply that actually works in production. Only here at Global Cacao Traders Online, your sourcing and distributions platform globally.